During Chapter 6, you will be recording transactions in our first financial form called the General Journal. So instead of recording transactions in a T account form, you will now be recording the transactions into this form called the General Journal. A few things to note about the General Journal. You will be required to put the page number at the top of the page because the General Journal is typically multiple pages long. On the first line of each General Journal page, you will put the year under the date column. And then you start with the transactions on the second line. On the first line of each transaction, you record the date. So for example, October 1st is the date of this transaction. October is abbreviated for space reasons, so OCT period is acceptable. 1 is the date of the month. On the first line of every transaction, you record the debit first, and it's always left aligned under the description column. So in this case, cash and bank is the debit. We won't worry during this chapter with the post-reference column. We'll deal with that next chapter. And then you record the debit amount under the debit column of the General Journal. On the second line of each transaction is the credit. And the credit is always indented. So in this case, Maria Sanchez, comma capital, is the credit. And again, we move over to the credit column this time and record the credit amount there. And then on the third line of every transaction is the source document. And in this case, the source document is memorandum. And it's indented a little further than the credit. You could even center it. And the source document here is Memorandum 1. For my class, you can abbreviate and use Memo 1. We're going to move on now to demonstration problems and practice recording transactions in the General Journal.